Okay, today I want to talk about what is most important when you make a new real estate assistant hire. We're going to talk about the pros and cons of hiring somebody who doesn't have prior real estate experience. Let's dig in. Hi, I'm Vanessa. I'm the owner of Pro R.E.A Staffing, and for 15 years, I've helped real estate agents hire administrative and management level staff all across the United States. And on this channel, we focus on fostering careers in real estate and growing real estate teams. So if this is a topic that interests you, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Okay, let's get into it. It's not news to say that we are in a very tight job market and salaries are increasing by the day. So, if you need to hire a new real estate assistant, you're going to have to make some tough choices. There's a saying in real estate: price, location, condition, pick two. I wish I had a comparable saying for HR because I feel like there needs to be one. But basically, that's the gist. You're not going to get everything you want unless you're willing to pay top dollar. So if you're not in the budget for a top of the line licensed experienced real estate assistant, you have some choices to make. And there are some compromises you can make, and one of them is not requiring prior real estate experience. And I would argue that is the best requirement to drop from your list if you are looking for a new hire. And let's go through why I think that's the case. If you need to hire a transaction manager, or you're looking for somebody to manage your contracts, yes, then it's likely that prior real estate experience is important. What I'm talking about here really are your marketing and administrative managers, your listing coordinators, your marketing specialists, those types of roles, even your operations manager. Those people definitely can come from outside of the industry. So, believe it or not, there really are some pros to not requiring prior real estate experience when you're hiring an assistant. The first is pretty obvious: it expands your talent pool. It significantly extends your talent pool, which means that you'll be able to pick from higher caliber group of candidates, and you will likely be able to hire faster. So that sounds good. But let's get into the real meat of the matter. When you're not focused on real estate experience, you get to focus on the things that actually matter in your hire. And these are their skills, their goals, and whether or not they're a good culture fit. So if you put real estate assistant experience aside, you can look at, is this person a strong administrator? Do they have great attention to detail? Are they organized? Do they have a track record of being able to build and manage systems and support a busy executive? Do they have the right attitude? Are their goals aligned with mine and where I want my company to go? And do we like each other? Do we vibe? Do we feel like we can like and trust each other and work together long term? That's what really matters. That's like the heart of the matter, right? So I think we need to start there before we worry about how many transactions somebody has managed. All right, so now let's talk about some of the cons of hiring somebody from outside of the real estate industry. The first and most obvious is that, yes, you are going to need to train them. And the good news is that there are a lot of resources out there to make this easier. Your CRM has training videos. If you're using a transaction coordinator, often they will be willing to sit with your assistant and explain what they do and what they need from the assistant. And of course, we have Kathleen Metcalf and Inspired for Results 90 Days to Thrive program, which is a 90-day coaching and training program for both you and your assistant to help get them set up for success. So you don't have to take all of the training responsibilities onto yourself. And keep in mind, no matter who you hire, you still have to train them on your process. So yes, there will be more training involved up front, but you get to train somebody in your image. Now, one of the other cons is that they might get into real estate and realize that this isn't what I thought it was going to be. This isn't like selling sunset. And they may decide that the industry isn't for them. This is why doing a day in the life interview that we teach in the Hire Lab process is so important. They need to understand what the good, the bad, and the messy is going to be and what a day in the life is going to look like for them. So in your interview process, make sure that you are offering full disclosure about what they will really be doing and not doing as an assistant on your team so that there aren't any surprises later on. And one other thing to keep in mind is that you're not going to get a big salary discount by hiring somebody from outside of real estate. A experienced, highly qualified executive assistant is making as much or possibly more working for somebody else outside of the real estate industry, and they likely have better benefits. Unfortunately, the real estate industry is not a leader when it comes to salary. So keep in mind that while you will need to put in more training, you're not going to get a big discount on this person's salary when you bring them on. It just isn't going to work like that these days. So you have to accept that. Now, you might have listened to these pros and cons and thought, yeah, but no, I still really need them to have real estate experience. Okay, so let's talk about some of the other compromises you might need to make in order to get somebody in that seat sooner rather than later. So you might have to pay a lot more to pull somebody away from another team. You might need to be flexible. Instead of having somebody on site, you may need to offer it as a virtual position or a flexible work from home position. And that may or may not suit your needs. You might find that you have to compromise on their education or skill level or their level of professional presentation. And you might have to compromise on their attitude and competency. So I don't know about you. I would much rather train somebody in my image on how I want them to run my real estate transactions and serve my clients. I'd much rather focus on that than have to accommodate somebody who doesn't want to come in the office when I really need them to, or somebody who doesn't have the core skills, experience, or attitude that is important to me. And I certainly don't want to pay any more than my budget allows. So those are my thoughts on the pros and cons of hiring somebody from outside of the real estate industry and bringing them into real estate. And I'm curious to hear from you. Have you hired assistants from outside of the industry? How did that go for you? Am I missing any pros or cons? Leave a comment below. And if you're looking to hire and you'd like some help with the process, we can do that. My contact information is below. Reach out, let's chat about your search and see if we can help. See you on the next video.